Hi, everybody. Let me post my Instagram story really quick. Oops. There we go. How is everybody doing? Happy Wednesday. Let me pull out the chat really quick. I do this every time. What? Okay, snow mode's on. Cool. So today's live stream theme is seeing things. So people who have like the gift of like seeing spirits and stuff. Sorry, I am pulling up my things. Oh, I want to say hi to you, but all your names are going by too fast. Wolf's Riddle, Sketchy Girl, Eggy Expert, Maya Creole, Sonia Martinez, Armin, like Offensive Beef, Emoji Star. All right. Cool. So, couple of announcements before we get into it. Oh, let me make that smaller. All right. So over here to your left. I don't know how that works. So these are the stories I've got from Hannah, Jasmine, Jabba, Miss Antarctica, and Megan. Not Megan from Snarled, different Megan. And if you want to submit a story for the stream, go ahead and send it to this email right here. Email your stories to somethingscary@snarl.com. Very simple. Try to give it like a creative subject line so that I kind of have an idea. Like, and I'm looking for things that are that fit a certain theme. It's a lot easier for me to just like go through and be like, okay, cool, I know what that's about, stuff like that. And then also don't forget to follow me on my stuff. My Instagram and Twitter is Awkward Sapphire. My YouTube and Twitch is Sapphire Sandalo, and then my Facebook is sapphire.sandalo.official. What other announcements did I make? We have merch. If you look beneath the video, there are links to our merch store if you want to buy something scary stuff, slate trick stuff, snarl stuff. It's all there for you. Fun news. Next week is Vidcon. So if you guys are going to Vidcon, holy crap, hit me up. I am going to be on a panel on Thursday at 11:30 a.m. I forget the place, but it's called Art and Online Video. I made an Instagram post of it, so if you look, it's there. What else? Yeah, so it would be really cool if I could meet up with you guys. I'll keep you posted on like where I'm at there. So that'll be super fun. What else? So Something Scary as a YouTube show is sadly still on a break, but that's because we are trying to turn it into something else, turn it into something that's not a YouTube series. What that is, we're not really sure yet because we're still figuring it out. But yeah, that's the update on Something Scary. It's not fully gone. It's just not on YouTube anymore, if that makes any sense. All right, cool. So for today's stream, I am actually going to be skipping a riddle today because I picked some really long stories, and I wanted time to read those. So before we get into that, I'm going to address some of these super chats. If you are new to the streams or, you're new to live streams in general on YouTube, there's something you can do called super chatting. If you look in the chat box, there is a little icon that has a little like $sign looking thing. If you click on that, you can send however amount of money, and then it pops up. It gets highlighted in the chat. You can add a comment, whatever, and then I am legally obligated to read your chat. So LPS Vlogs, thanks for the 99-cent super chat. Olivia S. Martinez, thank you for the $20 super chat, but you left no comment next to it, which is a wasted opportunity, but that's fine. Thank you, Olivia. Yeah, cool. All right, let's get into it. Our first story comes from Hannah. I believe this was submitted via email. So, yes. Okay. Let's see. Hi. So my name is Hannah, and I'm 17, and I live in Lancashire, England. I don't know if I said that right. I have a very unique and weird talent that has been passed down throughout my family on my dad's side. We have spirit sight. It started as seeing something in the corner of my eye, but when I looked, nothing was there. The things in the corner of my vision eventually turned into people as I started to focus on them slightly more as I got older. It is at the point now where I can see the spirit's full body, face, clothes, and colors of the skin and clothing. It was scary at first, as when I was 15, I was slowly getting used to it after talking to my gran about using it. A few nights after, I saw a figure at my bedroom door. It was about 11 p.m., so it was pitch black in my room, and my door hadn't moved, so I knew it wasn't someone alive. I slowly saw a monk with his hood up at my door. This happened 3 nights in a row, so I got more used to it. And since then, I've been able to ignore anyone I see and just carry on. Except one. It scares me more than anything as it doesn't have a form. It's just a black mass. It has been following me for about 2 years now. It never gets any closer or further. It's always about 3 feet behind me. I can feel it as I'm typing this now. In the past 2 years, it has never changed or formed into anything. If I'm walking out of a pitch black room, I get an overwhelming feeling of fear and dread, and I have to spin around and look, even though I know that nothing is there. A few weeks ago, I was coming back from the bathroom through my landing, which has no windows, and it was getting dark outside, so it didn't have any light except the light coming from my room. As I got to the entrance of my room, I felt the same fear as usual, but it was the worst I've ever felt. So much so, I almost passed out. I felt something was wrong with me, and the next thing I knew, I was leaning against my light switch when the light turned off and the black thing was 1 foot away from my face. I screamed as it started to come closer, so I frantically turned the light on, and it was gone. What worries me now that it's come closer is that my friends want to play a Ouija board at their house, and I don't want it to come through and do something to me or my friends again. I really don't know what this is or what to do. Hannah! Jewelbug, black masses are one of the things you do not feel safe around. Ooh. So has anyone in the chat seen black masses? I don't know. I feel like I hear a lot of stories about that. About seeing like they're not really figures. They're kind of just like actually, I don't know. I don't think I've mentioned this before. But like I think the creepiest description I've heard is like of shadow people is that like they're so dark, like just so like darker than the darkest black you can think of, and it kind of just looks like they're a cutout in this universe. Do you know what I mean? It makes sense, but then also because I've never seen it, I can't actually picture it. But it's like as if our universe, someone is just like cut out like a figure, and then that's like how they just look like they're a whole. I think it's creepy. I don't ever want to see one. All right, cool. Thank you, Hannah. All right, this next story comes from Jasmine, spelled in a really cool way. So this one is, I'm pretty sure, absolutely fake. I kind of altered it a little bit to make a little bit more sense. So sorry, Jasmine. All right. There was a 12-year-old boy named Mark, and his father and mother always worked. The boy was always watched over by his maid when his parents left. Every day, every time Mark's parents would come home, the maid left without hesitation to the other door without even saying goodbye. One day, while Mark's parents were gone, he went to the maid and asked, "Why don't you ever say goodbye to me? Don't I make you smile? Aren't we friends?" Mark kept asking questions. Finally, the maid looked him dead in the eyes and said, "No," and left. Mark was crying that day and couldn't stop until his parents came home. His mother asked, "What's wrong, honey?" Mark said, "I don't think the maid is my friend anymore." His mother then responded, "What maid, sweetie?" "Bah, spooky dookie, there's no maid." Cat Sparkles, you're not late. I just started like 7 minutes ago, so you're good. Hey, Super Ravenclaw, Anitha Smith, Claudia George, Gabriel, Audrey, a wolf that draws, girl, punch. Just call me random Bendy the Ink Demon. Bendy the Ink Demon, that's cute. Do you like my little Bendy thingy? Boop, boop, boop. This little guy right here. Anyways, cool. Thanks for that, Jasmine. All right, so this next one comes from Jabba. I don't know if that's like a short abbreviation of your name or something. But this one, I believe, is a urban legend. I don't know if you guys have heard this one before. This one, I believe, is like a Mexican urban legend that I've actually never heard, but I kind of liked it. It's cool. So I will read it to you now. Sorry, I had to scratch myself. One day, Maria's mother had sent her to buy oil and a heart of beef since she wanted to make some anticuchos for sale that day. I don't know if I said that right. Maria Marimacha was happy to go shopping with the 20 sols, or $5, that her mother had given her. But on the way there, she saw some children playing with marbles, and she decided to play with them, betting the 20 sols her mother gave her for the errand. Maria lost and had no choice but to give up her money. Maria did not know what to do since she could not go home without the money because her mother would punish her. So Maria went to the cemetery and dug up a dead body that had just been buried and took the heart out of the dead man. But she lacked the oil, so she picked up a bottle she found on the street and urinated in it. Super gross. Upon returning home, Maria gave the things to her mother, and her mother made the anticuchos with the dead man's heart and Maria's urine. Maria's sister noticed a strange taste in the anticucho, and it seemed strange to her that Maria did not eat the anticuchos since it was her favorite dish. At night, Maria's sister and mother told Maria that they were going to leave to watch a movie, but Maria did not want to go, so they left without Maria. After a while, Maria felt tired and decided to go to sleep. But when she laid in the bed, she heard a voice that said, "Maria Marimacha, give me back my heart." Maria sensed it was the dead man whose heart she had stolen. She panicked and ran to hide inside a closet. After a few hours, Maria's mother and her sister came back, but when Maria was called, she did not answer. They looked for her in her bedroom. No Maria. They opened the closet, and there she was, dead and without a heart. So I thought that was kind of a cool little legend that I've never heard before. Hey, it's Bae. The red eye in the back looks cool. Thank you. That is actually a CD case. You guys know what compact discs were? Yeah, that's a CD case that like one of my ex-boyfriends gave me from Japan, and it actually has like a little tiny body on it. It's pretty funny. It's pretty cute. Magic Cake. How dare you ask in the chat how you submit a story when it's right there? All right, just a reminder for everyone who was joining the chat. If you want to submit a story, the best way to do that is sending me an email over at somethingscary@snarled.com. Give it a descriptive subject heading so that I have an idea of what it's about before I open it. And I just don't have time to respond to everybody, so please don't be upset with me. I think that's it. You can still send me messages on Discord. I just I won't see it as soon as I check my emails more than I do my Discord messages. So, all right, cool. How's everyone doing? You guys good? It's very hot in my house today, and just in LA in general. Oh boy. Okay. All right, next story comes from Miss Antarctica. That sounds familiar. I feel like somebody with that name sent me a story before. Hi, Toxic Remedies. Richie Boy plays Sophia Welter, Iwa Sawa Dev Kuan Din. All right. Miss Antarctica writes, "My whole clan is very in touch with the spirit world, as the saying goes. My sisters and myself tend to have premonition dreams, and most of my family members can tell a house is haunted just by walking in and noticing the energy. One of my sisters used to live..." Sorry, hang on. Oh, God. Oh, I forgot to get a glass of water. I have, weird burps. Oh, sorry, that's my phone. One of my sisters used to live in Florida, but recently she decided to move back to our hometown. The house she rented for the first few weeks of her return wasn't old, but it was way out of the way compared to other buildings in the city. It may have actually been county. It was so far out. When my mom and I went to check it out before my sister arrived with her husband and 3 children, I could tell instantly that something was there. The energy in what we dubbed the blue room, because it was the only room in that house painted a different color than the rest, was very strange. I could sense the sort of frequency that I knew to mean some sort of spirit was present. The bedroom itself was quite ordinary, small with broken closet doors, but for some reason, the room gave off an aura of sadness and death to me. Disturbingly, this bedroom was to be my sister's baby son's room. I moved on out of the room and into the garage where my mom was chatting with the landlady. They had pulled down the ladder-like stairs leading up to the attic, and I decided to look up in the space above to see if anything of interest was there. As I started to ascend the steps, the landlady cautioned me rather severely not to set foot up there. She said it wasn't safe. When I assured her I would stay on the ladder, she let me climb up. The attic level was completely empty, and upon reflection, I saw absolutely nothing that would make the area unsafe in any way. But I did notice something that disturbed me. In the farthest corner, where the light didn't reach, I could sense the same something I had noticed in the blue room. For some reason, I was hit with a desire to get out of there as fast as I could. So I hopped back to the garage and ran to catch up with my mom and the landlady, who had then moved back inside. When I had been indoors for maybe a minute, there was a loud crash from the garage. I looked about, but my mom and the landlady showed no reaction. Didn't they hear it? I checked the garage on our way out, and the ladder steps were shut beneath the trapdoor again. I assumed the noise had been the sounds of them slamming shut, probably by the wind. It wasn't until the ride home that I realized the wind could never have folded up the steps. My sister moved in the next week, and apart from doors randomly sticking, her boys having nightmares, and their cat being on constant edge, nothing really happened during her stay. Nevertheless, I'm glad they all moved out before long. I've encountered benevolent entities before, and none of them made me want to run away like the thing in that attic did. What? Wait. Jennifer Rosales, I just wanted something scary at snarl.com, and it does not work, and it's also hard where I live. Guys, you don't go to something scary at snarl.com. You email something scary at snarl.com. I guess maybe that's my bad for assuming that people know how email works. There's been so many times where I send the email address via like DM or something, and then they're like, this link doesn't work. Yeah, because it's not a freaking link, guys. You email it. You email me. I'm sorry. It gets really frustrating when everyone has the same issue all the time. Square Mom, what's the shoe in the background? Funny you ask. That shoe is a dog toy. It is a dog toy of a hooker leg, a dead hooker leg from the Mr. Pickles season 1. Yeah, it's my dog's favorite toy for some reason. He loves it. I don't know why. All right, so now we are on our last 2 stories. Both of these stories come from Megan. She actually changed the names in here because she didn't want her coworkers knowing about or didn't want her coworkers being like, hey, why are you telling these stories? So I really like these ones. She worked at a McDonald's, and yeah, here's your stories. Okay. Sorry, hang on. All right, these are long, so strap in. I work at McDonald's, and I showed up at 11 to begin my overnight shift as a cook. Because I'm not a manager, I have one working with me. After all other employees leave, it is just me in the kitchen and my manager attempting to not fall asleep in the break room. He told me he trusts me and to wake him up if necessary or when it's about 5 a.m. It's about 2 a.m. and I'm really tired. A couple walks inside and I perk up with a smile and say, welcome, I'll help you when you're ready. They ignore me, which is the usual response from most people. The woman walks to our single booth in the store and stands up on the cushioned chair so she could plug in what I assume was her phone into an outlet we have in the ceiling. The man orders a plain black coffee, and I told him that it would be about 3 minutes because I didn't have enough coffee for a large cup like he ordered. He got frustrated, and I told him that at least the coffee would be fresh when I gave it to him. He paid and then sat at the booth to talk about how the service should be faster. To make him feel a little better, I pour what was left in my jug, and then I press a button to brew some more, and instead of putting the glass jug back under the nozzle, I placed a cup instead so it would fill. Once full, I switched the cup for the glass jug so the jug would fill the rest of the way. I walked over to the booth with his finished coffee, and he thanks me with how quick I was and apologized for what he said about my service. The couple look out the window and see a car starts to come into the parking lot. They get scared and push themselves further into the booth so that you couldn't see them from the front counter. I ask if they were all right, and they tell me, we're not here. The car is no longer visible in the parking lot, but I see through our monitor over the fryer that the car was in the drive-thru. But if they did go into the drive-thru, they had to have moved the cones since we closed drive-thru at 10 p.m. due to houses being next to the restaurant. The car honks and the couple are really scared. I walk to the back window and I open up the register as well as the window and I greet the people in the car. But the people in the car were the same people in the booth in the front. I'm a little confused, but I take their order and their money. They ordered a single large black coffee. I ask them to drive to the third window and then I close and lock the back window. I walk to the front and the man from the booth quickly hands me the coffee I gave him and tells me to give this to his duplicate driving the car. He goes back and hides under the table this time, along with the woman with him. I go to the third window and I hand the double the coffee he ordered. He doesn't thank me or anything. He just leaves, taking a sip of the coffee as he does. But once out of sight, I run to the booth as there's a window in the booth that shows the drive-through road. I see the duplicate man look like he's screaming, and then his car disappears. It was literally gone. The couple under the table sigh with relief and come back up from under the table. I ask what the hell happened, and they tell me that their doppelgangers have been following them for a long time. And they put something inside the coffee I gave them to make the doppelgangers disappear. They tipped me with a $50 bill for my service in, quote unquote, making their demons go back to hell. They left, and then my manager woke up. I told him what happened, and he and I looked at the cameras to see whether or not we were crazy. But there was the whole scene. The couple walks in, the doppelgangers go into the drive-thru, and you see me taking their order. Then you can see the front couple hand me their coffee, and you can see me go to the third window to hand them the fixed coffee. Then the car drives off. But looking into the camera that's looking out into the parking lot, you don't see their car coming out of the drive-thru. You can see the couple handing me the $50 and then leaving. My manager is so puzzled at this. The two of us walk outside to fix the cones that stop people from going into drive-thru, and they look to have been driven over. The two of us ran back into the restaurant in a nope sort of way, and neither of us even felt tired for the rest of the night. What? Oof. Yeah, that's a creepy one. I mean, Megan claims that this is a true story. The second part of this story is also pretty creepy. But all right, so this is our last story, guys. Thank you for hanging in there. Yeah, so this one actually kind of spooked me a bit. All right, this is the second part. The McDonald's I work in is haunted by a ghost of a former employee named Elliot. He was a teenager who unfortunately felt that he had no life in this world and committed suicide within the restaurant. I joined the restaurant about 5 months after this happened and was told about it after I have seen his spirit on multiple occasions. I and my family strongly believe that I am partially psychic. My coworkers believe the same. At home, I'd see orbs, none that try to hurt me. On several occasions, I'd see apparitions that only I could see, even though others were with me. These spirits would only show themselves to me as they knew I could see them. I'd see Elliot starting his little white orbs flying around within the freezer or up in the washing room next to the attic ladder. My manager finally told me the story, and she said that I was the only person who's seen him or experienced him more than 3 times. Elliot would prank other coworkers by opening and closing doors, turning off the lights throughout the restaurant, particularly in the freezer when people are in there. His favorite place to be is up in the attic where no one but 2 people could go into. Now 3, with me included. But he only shows himself when I'm around. This has gotten to the point that I'm always working in the back to keep him from scaring customers. He now shows himself as full apparitions on almost every shift that I work. Each time he's seen, I'm called to help out to keep him at bay. He can talk to me now. Each time he scares someone, I'm told to go up into the attic to talk with him. We talk about random things, as if he were alive and we were friends. I could see him very well defined, and I could see his facial expressions. We'd only talk for a few minutes at a time, as he'd disappear mid-conversation and never appear again for the rest of the shift. He doesn't follow me home. He just stays at the restaurant. There were a few times where he wanted to work with me. I'd let him come downstairs and he'd stand behind me and keep quiet as I'd take people's orders at the back window. No one sees him, but people feel uneasy when he's behind me. By staying happy, I try to keep customers from freaking the F out because they can feel Elliot's strong presence. If he were to make himself visible or even make a sound, I know that the people would drive away and get the F out of the drive-thru. Elliot once even mentioned the doppelgangers from the previous story to me. He said that it was a scary experience for us, and he found that pretty funny that someone other than me could have a strange supernatural experience. He said he wanted so badly to go down and to scare the doppelgangers away, but Elliot said if he did, he would be taken with them, and he'd never be able to talk to me again. What? Yeah, so that's wild. That's absolutely wild. Megan, and I don't know where she's from, but yeah, isn't that crazy? Oh boy, I don't know. Well, we have come to the end of the stream. Thank you guys for joining me. Ashley Bobadilla, Gray D'Angelo, Brian Lara, Regin Kiste, Cashmere, I'm Green, Boo the Wolf, Karina Velasco, Hayden Dix, Wolf the Trust, Maya Amselin, Zoe Cuddles, Atomic God, Troll, Lunabelle, Magic Cake, Alexander Hernandez, Dominguez, Cherry Blossoms. All right, that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. A couple of things. Later today, I am going to be streaming on my personal Twitch. My name is right here. At 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Every Wednesday, I do a talk show called Ouija Wednesdays over on my Twitch. Tonight, I have my friend Alex Jolove. She's an awesome animator and artist, and she's also an actual witch. She's an actual witch. So we're gonna talk about witchcraft. We're gonna talk about like all kinds of stuff. So yeah, come. Oh yeah, and there's my this is my table, my little Ouija board ready. So yeah, come join me for that later. Also, yeah, that's it. Oh, next week is Vidcon. If you're going to Vidcon, let me know. And then maybe we can like hang out or something. So yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Bye, guys. Don't forget to send stories here, something scary at snarled.com. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And I will see y'all next week. Bye. Uh-oh.